Hey ladies, update. Today is, oh God, what is today? Today is July 25th, 2019. I am 17 days postpartum. I'm out taking a little walk with the baby. It's our first time doing this. I have not been able to manage or get it together before then, but so I'm just out taking a little stroll. I want to quickly show you the stroller. I think I'll do a full review on it later if anyone's interested. But I didn't get the Bugaboo. I still want the Bugaboo. And I ended up getting something I mentioned to you guys a while back called the Mockingbird brand stroller. I don't know if you can see. It has this sunshade on it. Michaela is currently in it. We're just strolling through the park with the Mockingbird brand stroller. It is a fairly new brand, and it is affordable compared to an Upper Baby or the Bugaboo. So this has the infant carriage part on it that you can see. It comes with the sunshade. So that's what all this black is, because it's really hot today, but it's a UV sunshade, and it comes with that. And like I said, if I do a full review, I can show you how it all breaks down. So if you buy the Mockingbird, you get a 30-day trial, and I'm in my 30 days, so I wanted to try it out. I'm sorry about the sun. Trying to remove the glare, but it's you get a 30-day trial on it, and I wanted to try it out. I also bought the car seat adapter, the infant seat that goes within the toddler part, and the infant carriage. So there's all different prices for some of those add-ons. The carriage is an add-on, which was $100. But in total, I spent like $510, I think, with all the pieces that I bought. The car seat adapter was an add-on. The infant seat was an add-on. So with all of that, I still spent $500. It rolls pretty nicely. Again, to show you, kind of want to show you the wheels. And if you can see, it rolls pretty nicely and easily. And it's not Bugaboo, but it rolls really nice. I mean, that was the thing I loved about the Bugaboo, was that it rolled pretty nice. So I just wanted to talk about my stroller as we enjoy a little walk out, and give you an update on what life is like having a 17-day-old newborn, for me, at least, being a first timer. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's great. It's still unbelievable, honestly, because every day I wake up and I'm kind of like, wait, so this is every day? And also I think to myself, so this is my kid. Like, this is my kid. It's surreal in a lot of ways. So I think I'm definitely still adjusting. We still don't have a routine. My girl, we just came back from a pediatrician. I love her pediatrician so much. Like, love her. This is our third time seeing her. There wasn't really anything wrong. Michaela hadn't had a poop in 3 days, and I was concerned, but she ended up having a poop last night, but I'd already made this doctor appointment, so I figured I'd keep it. And come to find out, that's partially because she is mixed fed. And so sometimes when babies are mixed fed with both breast milk and formula, that can happen. And, so we're just coming back. I decided to take a walk to the pediatrician's, not too far, but I wanted to kind of get some exercise in. I know you can barely see me with the glare from the sun. But I wanted to get some exercise in. And, for me, as you know, I've been exercising. I had been exercising throughout the entire pregnancy. I had been exercising before the pregnancy. So exercise is really important to me, but because I'm still in my 6-week postpartum, I'm not allowed to do any real exercising. So I wanted to get out the house, stretch my legs. I was going a little stir crazy. I'm not used to staying at home like this, and it hasn't even been a full 3 weeks yet. My job gives 7 months maternity leave. I do plan to take most, if not all of it. But, it's rough right now because I'm still adjusting. And I know every time I adjust, we get to a new schedule or a new thing. So, also, I want to point out that I'm also pushing this stroller one-handed. So that's another good thing. It is pretty easy. It's pretty easy to control, and it has a pretty good one-handed push. Like I said, it rolls pretty nicely. And one of the things that I really loved about the Bugaboo was the way that it pushed. It pushed and turned beautifully. But I feel, at a discounted price, the Mockingbird pushes and turns just like a Bugaboo or an Upper Baby. At a fraction of the price. I can't really say I'm endorsing it yet because this is really our first walk with it, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep it yet. There's a few things. Well, there's one thing I don't like about the way that the carriage inserts into the base, the way that this infant carriage that I showed you, the way that it inserts into the base. I find it a little difficult. It's really easy to get off. I find it difficult to insert it. So far, that's the part I didn't like. I haven't tried the car seat adapter yet, so I want to see how that all goes together, if it goes together smoothly. I'm all about things being easy and just clicking in. But anyway, back to Michaela's issue. She was gassy and fussy and hadn't had a poop in 3 days, and I didn't know what to do, and I started to get worried, and so I just figured I'd go to the pediatrician, and her doctor is so reassuring, and she did explain that breast milk is easier to digest. So when you're doing mixed feeding and the baby gets formula is harder to digest, and sometimes it does slow down their poops. I'm really trying to get her on breast milk only, even if that means I'll have to be an exclusive pumper, because we still haven't figured out the latching situation. As I've told you before, I have flat nipples, and it's funny how I've changed, because initially I didn't even know if I could breastfeed because I had a breast reduction. I thought I wouldn't even be able to. And so I was like, oh, well, she'll have to do formula, and I was okay with that. And then once I found out that I could breastfeed and I could make milk, it just became like I went in 120%. And now all I want to do is have her latch and have that bond. And not that giving her a bottle doesn't create that bond. It does. And there's actually some benefits about the bottle where my husband's able to participate. I mean, he's been absolutely amazing with her. And he's able to participate with feedings and even overnight feedings and stuff like that. So, sorry. But yeah, so there's that. And he's been absolutely amazing with her and doing all that stuff. But I kind of just wanted to have that, mommy and daughter time where I could have her latch. And we haven't accomplished that. So I'm trying to be okay with being an exclusive pumper. And if I am exclusively pumping, though, I would like to get to the point where she's only getting breast milk and no formula. Like, I want to pump enough that she's getting everything, but pumping is a pain. And, this whole breastfeeding thing is extremely emotional. I think more so than I even really could have imagined. So I don't know how you ladies who've had multiple kids, I just don't know how women do this. This whole thing is demanding and overwhelming and beautiful and remarkable, but it's not easy, at least for me. Again, Just me. Um, hey, how you doing? But I will update you guys in a little bit once I get in. Hey ladies, so sorry for the interruption, but I'm back just to continue my update. 17 days postpartum, so what, 2 weeks and 3 days, I guess. You can hear, I don't know if you can hear her, Michaela, singing in the background. She tends to sing while she sleeps. Move her a little closer. Everything is a mess. So let me tell you, keeping up with housework, I wasn't really big on that anyway. My husband does most of the housework, but keeping up with housework has just been, I mean, again, I didn't really do it anyway, but I do even less now. It's like non-existent. So I'm hoping to change that because I also don't work well in clutter. So as things start to get cluttered too much, I start to get agitated or irritated or irritable. I don't know. For some reason, too much clutter bothers me. So I know that's an adjustment because there's so much baby stuff here. So just organizing that and having everything in order is important to me, but is not so important that I need to have it done right now. But so let me show you. So I think I told you already about this thing. I absolutely love this bassinet thing she's sleeping in. I absolutely love it. It's been very helpful, and I have it right near my bed, so it's been really cool. But other than that, everything in my house is a mess. Like, I even started putting clothes in her pack and play because I haven't bought nursery furniture yet, and I'm hoping to soon, but I didn't need it right away. And so as we accumulate more clothes, I'm noticing I have nowhere to put these things. So it's just really organizing and getting things together. On update on how I'm feeling and how I'm healing. So ultimately, physically, I feel like I've bounced back pretty quickly. Like, to give you a quick, my stomach for the most part is kind of gone-ish, not gone, gone-ish. Oh, you can see, yeah, but my stomach is kind of gone-ish. Let's talk about breastfeeding, since I pointed out. What I ended up doing is taking an old sports bra, which I'm wearing right now, and cutting holes in the front, in the nipple area. And I use that to pump. So I made pumping bras. That's me being cheap, making pumping bras. I was going to order some from Amazon. I just haven't done it yet. And in the meantime, I do have some nursing bras, but they're not pumping bras. And so I noticed that when I'm pumping, I had to hold the flanges and the bottles and stuff to me, and it was just so annoying. And then someone told me about pumping bras, and I didn't even know that was a thing. So, I think Michaela's going to wake up soon too, so that might interrupt this video. But anyway, I didn't know that was a thing. And then the same person told me, or you could just cut holes in an old sports bra. And so I did that. But usually you can't see it. I did not wear this out. I changed into it because I recently pumped in the house. And so, but I wouldn't wear it out because clearly you can kind of see where I cut the hole. I don't know. But anyway, physically overall, I feel okay. But I think that's the problem. Like, people see me. I've run into a few people. I actually stopped by my job on Monday, just because I was in the neighborhood. And, people were just marveling on how quickly physically I've seemed to have recovered. Like, my stomach has gone down tremendously. Just not really from me doing anything. So I can't say it's because I'm eating or exercising, eating right, exercising. It's not because of that. I really don't know why. Maybe it was because of the Pitocin and all of that. But it's going away a lot. So that's good. But just because I feel better doesn't mean I am like actually better. And so you have this situation where, I did just have a baby. And so for 6 weeks, it takes 6 weeks to recover from that. I am still bleeding. I am not heavy, but I am still bleeding and passing blood clots. Again, if that's TMI, I'm sorry, but that's what I do. I kind of tell too much, but so I still have all that going on. I know I'm not really healed. I can actually still feel my stitches, and I had a few stitches in I didn't have any perineal stitches, but I did have some first degree tears, very minor tearing, but they did still stitch them. And the stitches, I can actually feel them and they irritate me a little bit. So yeah, I had like a little labia tearing and like a small tear near the urethra. I believe that's where it was. So, but all of that said, I can still feel the stitches from that when I wash or sometimes, urinate. And I don't use my, the Perry bottle anymore. I can't think of what it's called. I actually stopped using that a while ago because probably after the first or second day, because I didn't really feel like I needed it. It wasn't stinging or burning, but sometimes I forget the stitches are there. And then you wipe, you're supposed to dab, not rub. And I'll rub and I'll be like, oh, there are stitches still there. So I am not healed. I tend to pretend I am. And I know I overexert myself sometimes because I don't feel bad. And then I'll end up feeling poorly. Like my body will get really sore and achy. And I'm like, oh yeah, you did just like go through this super traumatic experience with pushing out this life form. So yeah, you aren't quite 100%. So even though I may look better and feel a lot better, I know I'm not 100%. My body does remind me of that, and I have a hard time of taking it easy. So I need to get better at that. So that's more my physical changes. I'm still taking my iron and Colace. When I left the hospital, they gave me 3 prescriptions, one for Motrin 600, which I really don't need. I haven't needed it really in a while. And also Colace, it was just a stool softener and iron. So I'm supposed to take those twice a day. The Motrin is as needed, I guess. Like I said, I really don't need it. The Colace and the iron pills, those are twice a day, and the iron pill can make you constipated and the Colace is a stool softener, so I guess they're supposed to work hand in hand. I will tell you that after giving birth, your first poop can be scary. I know for me, at least for a vaginal, I don't know anything about a C-section, but just because when you're in labor, you have that I'm going to poop feeling so long that the first time you have to poop is kind of scary a little bit. I mean, for me, it wasn't horrible, but my first poop, and again, TMI, my first poop came after they inserted those pills rectally to help my uterus contract due to the hemorrhaging. And I mentioned that in a prior video. So after they inserted those pills, like a day later, I think I had to poop, but the pills were actually kind of painful to insert in. So I was so scared, and I didn't want that I have to poop feeling, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. And this isn't me just sugarcoating it because I forgot how bad it was. No, it really wasn't that bad. It was more mentally scary than it was painful. But anyway, moving on from poop. Mentally and emotionally, I'm kind of still all over the place. Like I said, it is really surreal having a baby that's my baby. But at the same time, I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I've bonded with her or not yet. I love her in a super protective way. I love her because she's like magical, because it's like, how'd this happen? I know how it happened, but it's still, I don't know. But I don't still feel like I know her. And so I think it takes time to get to know her. I definitely take care of her. So I know it's more like taking care of her and protecting her. I don't feel like I know her, and I haven't really been able to enjoy her yet because I've spent so much time trying to make sure I'm doing all the right things and feeling guilty about not doing the right things. Like, we haven't done a lot of tummy time. She's done it on my chest and my husband's chest, but she hasn't done it on her tummy time mat that I bought. I haven't been reading her the books I thought I would every night because there's no night. The days are just endless loops of feedings and changings and burpings and stuff like that. So, I feel guilty about not having her latch yet. I hope it's not too late for her to latch. As I mentioned, the constipation that she had may not have happened if she was only getting breast milk. And so I feel guilty I don't produce enough breast milk yet to keep up with her because she eats a lot. Right now, Michaela can do 4 ounces each feeding. So every 3 hours roughly, she's doing 4 ounces of whether it's formula or breast milk. Sorry about that, but that's a lot. So yeah, there's it's a lot of things that I feel guilty about. So I end up spending more time thinking about that and wanting to make sure I do everything right for her or perfect or give her what she needs and what'll be best. And so I'm not having as much fun, and I want to try to fix that because she's growing up so quickly. And yeah, she's only 17 days, but today she was weighed and she weighs 7 pounds 12 and a half ounces. She was born at 6 pounds 11 ounces, and then her weight dipped a little bit, came back up, so which is all normal. But my thing is she'll never be under 7 pounds again. She'll never be that little baby. I mean, she is a little baby still, but she'll never be 6 pounds 11 ounces. She is grown. She's changing. She's growing up. And I mean, even 17 days, but she is. And so I want to cherish these moments and enjoy them. And I'm trying to figure out how I can do that and not beat myself up constantly about, am I doing the right things in between the feedings and the changings and all the other things that you do. She is still really young and she hasn't really focused yet. So, I tried to show her some of the black and white books and she's looked at them a little bit, but, we need to spend more time doing that. But see, that's the thing. That's what I do. I'm always like, I need to do this. I need to do that. So it becomes more of a task. And I don't want it to be a task. I want it to be me and my little girl. Walking with her today was really nice. So that was cool, but it was the first time I've ever been out with a stroller, pushing it as the mom, so that was all really cool. But there's a lot of emotions and I'm just trying to deal with all of that. I need to figure out how to have fun with her during this time because eventually I'll be off of maternity leave and back at work and I won't have this time with her. So I really want to learn how to enjoy it. I don't know how to switch my mind. I have anxiety. My husband just went back to work yesterday. That was his first day back. He took the full 2 weeks and then 2 more days off. So he's at work today and he was at work yesterday. And so this is my second full day not by myself. He'll be home, after work, but this is the second day I've spent with by myself to some extent for the majority of the day. And I was really nervous about it the first he went back on Wednesday, but on Tuesday and on the weekend, I was really nervous about it because it just is a lot and it could be very overwhelming to be with her by myself and have to figure out, if I put her down and she starts screaming, can I shower? Can I do this? I mean, I'm still working all that out. I definitely still do shower every day. I haven't been putting on makeup, as you can see, but I've still been showering and doing all my hygienic needs otherwise, and taking care of her. So that's good. But, You know, it was just really scary because I didn't know what life would be like with just me and her here, and the dogs, of course. But I think we're adjusting okay. What do you think, Michaela? We're doing okay. But it's only been 2 days, and you know, I think we're fine. It wasn't as bad as I thought yesterday. And today we walked out and we went to the pediatrician. So I feel like keeping busy with those things also will help. It was just so hard to get out of the house though, not because I wanted to stay in the house, but because trying to like figure out everything I need. And I had her diaper bag packed, and then I ended up taking my purse too, and then I'm carrying my purse on my shoulder and pushing the stroller, and her diaper bag was on the bottom part underneath the stroller, and it was like, it didn't seem to be enough room for my purse. Also, my purse is huge, so it wasn't like the stroller, because the stroller has a pretty ample basket underneath, but between her diaper bag and me carrying my like luggage suitcase purse, you know, it was just a lot, and I need to figure out how to consolidate that. I had my big makeup bag in it, and I'm like, why are you carrying this? But I had to be at the doctor by 1 o'clock, and I just couldn't organize myself because I was feeding her at a time that I didn't anticipate to be feeding her. And then she was really fussy, and every time I put her down, she started screaming, and it was just something about the screaming that kind of got to me. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm running around trying to, you know, get back to her to pick her up. And I know sometimes picking them up too much can create the spoiled baby that'll scream every time you put them down. But I kept running back, trying to get back to her, and grab things around the house so I can get out. And I was just a mess. But we got there. The appointment was at 1 o'clock. We got there at 1:17. But we got there. But I did not do it as efficiently and effectively as I guess I could have. But that was our first time doing it by ourselves. And you know, and really the way that we did it, and walking up there, because we hadn't walked up there before. So but I thought it was it's only like a 20-minute walk. I thought it was cute to walk up there. It's a nice enough day. So yeah, so it's just all these things, but it was nice once I was actually out to enjoy her, you know, a little. So that was good. I'd like to spend more time doing that. Update on baby blues. I don't know what I feel. I'm not saying I have baby blues, or I think I did for those days. I'm not crying anymore or any of that. I think things have definitely gotten better. But I don't know what to call how I feel now. Like I said, I don't know if you call it baby blues or what have you. I'm just adjusting. I think I hope this is normal. I'm just adjusting. And, you know, I'd like Michaela to have a sibling, but Lord knows, I don't know if I could do this again. Lord knows, everybody who's done it more than once, I'm like, oh, you must be Superwoman. Because I'm like, once is just, wow. Or anyone with twins or something, I'm like, you know, I wanted twins. If you watched my earlier videos and you've been following with me, you know I wanted twins. They transferred 2 embryos, for me to get Michaela, and she could have easily been a twin, right? If both had taken, and or she could have been twins, or whatever you want to say, but she wasn't, and I'm actually thanking God that she wasn't, or that she's not, because I don't know. I couldn't imagine. I only have 2 hands, and they're not enough for her. So I don't know what, you know. But yeah, so there's that. I don't have a lot of family in the area, so I am doing it alone. So I think maybe when you have more family and family support, or support system, I think that's also a problem. It's pretty much just me and my husband doing this, and that's kind of hard. My mom can come and visit, and she lives in Philadelphia, and I would like her to come and visit. My parents were up here for Michaela's birth, but my mom is completely blind, and so it is a little harder to have her do things. She can help. She is independent, but she wasn't blind when I was a baby, so she's never had to be blind with a baby. So as far as feeding and changing Michaela, any of that, I don't know if she could do it. I mean, she could hold the bottle if I set it up and all of that, but again, I don't, and that could help me a little bit to free up my hands, so maybe I can pump or do something else, so she can do that. But yeah, I don't know. So it makes me a little sad to not be able to have my mom here the way that I would want my mom to be here. And again, if I'm sad, I'm sure she's sad about it, because she can never see Michaela. And so that makes me sad, because she won't ever really see what this little girl looks like, or now, or as she grows up. And, and so I feel like there's this little bit of a, I don't know, she can't be here and be here the same way that a mother who wasn't visually impaired. And I know that really hurts her. And then I'm hurt by it too, because I kind of wish I had my mom to be able to be here like that. And I know that might be a little selfish, because ultimately it's her disability. But, if it hurts me, I can only imagine how she feels. But I do wish that I could have a little more family support, but that's not my reality. It also plays into why I don't want Michaela to be an only child, because, I'm not an only child, but I have two older brothers who are good enough. There's a good enough of an age difference. And I would like Michaela to have somebody, because, without family, you really have no one. And that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. And so it would be great to have a larger support system. And I do have people, I have friends, but no one really that lives close, and no one that comes by to help. So, I have friends and I have people I can talk to and things like that. But as far as a day-to-day help, I don't have that. So if you do have that, then kiss, hug, thank God for whomever those people are, because not having that is hard. Because there's no one to call. I mean, someone to call to talk to, but as far as doing anything. Anyway, enough of that. Blood pressure update. So I've been taking my blood pressure. I did go back on Monday, this past Monday, the 22nd, I think it was. Yes. I went and I had a blood pressure check. It was okay. They did not keep me this time. You didn't see a video of me crying this time. It was, I did not know your blood pressure could be different in each arm. So when they took it in my left arm. It came up 141/84, which is still high. I'm not saying it's not high, and it shouldn't be that high given that I'm taking the nifedipine. I think that's what it's called, nifedipine. Dogs. So yeah. But then they took it in my right arm. They took the pressure in my right arm, and it came up as 129/80. So they were happy with that. Now, again, I didn't know that different arms can have different blood pressures. It's weird. I don't know which one was right. 129/80 is still high. Slightly high, but still high. But there was nothing that required me to go to labor and delivery. I was sent home with the instructions to continue to monitor twice a day, which I've been doing. It's been in good ranges for the most part. At similar instructions to last week. If it goes up above 150/90, I need to call. And then I was told to call in tomorrow to check to see what we'll do going forward. Because when they gave me my nifedipine, they only gave me a 2-week prescription, and my 2 weeks will be up sometime next week. So, yeah, I kind of need this, I guess. It is a little nerve-wracking to have to rely on blood pressure medication since I've never had to do that before. But it's fine. I haven't had any real side effects from it. It's safe for breastfeeding, so I've been okay with that. So, yeah. So far my blood pressure hasn't jumped up again. It had jumped up a little bit. I had like a 151/92, and I didn't call anybody, but that wasn't this week, that was last week. But it could have been, I don't know what I was doing at the time, and maybe I shouldn't have taken my blood pressure at the time when I did, but it's been very stable since then. I pray it only continues to get better and that eventually I can get off this medication. There is no time frame for how long I will need to be on it right now. But for the first 6 weeks postpartum, I am at risk. I think it's 6 to 8 weeks, I'm at risk for preeclampsia. So that's what, and so that's why we have to do this. And I might be on the medication longer than the 6 to 8 weeks. And if you recall, my blood pressure was never really that high during my pregnancy. So the fact that it's higher since giving birth does concern me, and also plays a factor on whether I would have any more kids, because clearly my body does not like it. So it's concerning. And if you have preeclampsia at all, you're at risk going forward. And although I don't have it and I have not had it, I'm still at risk. And if I were to have another pregnancy, of course, I'd still be at high risk for it. I need to have to closely monitor my blood pressure, probably even more so than they did this time, because I wasn't on blood pressure medication at all during my pregnancy. And just really quickly, I want to show you guys a few things. You know how a lot of newborns rub out their hair, the back of their hair eventually, or infants do that, and that happens, and it takes some time for it to grow back. Sometimes it's hormones though that causes that, but a lot of times it's also because they're laying on their back in certain areas and the hair gets rubbed out. So I bought Michaela this little bonnet. It looks a little big for her. I haven't been able to try it on to her yet. I don't know if I can take it in. I bought it from Etsy, but it's satin lined. So I wanted to get my girl a satin bonnet already so we could start getting her used to her life as Black woman. So she'll be rocking her satin bonnet going forward. I did order a newborn satin bonnet. I know it's a little crazy. And I've been taking these supplements. I'll probably do a separate video talking more about breastfeeding and how emotional and hard it is. But I ordered these fenugreek supplements and these milk thistle supplements. A lot of these are in the teas that I've been taking. So both the fenugreek and fennel and milk thistle and blessed thistle and different things are all in these supplements. So are in the teas. I've been drinking those teas I showed you in the other video about how emotional breastfeeding has been. And the fact that we can't latch has definitely felt like a failure to me, but need to move past it and not let it stress me out again to the point that I'm not enjoying this beautiful little girl. What else is there? I think that's it for now. But like I said, I do plan to talk more about breastfeeding in another video, and maybe do something on the Mockingbird stroller. Again, I'm not endorsing it or anything so far. I kind of like it so far, but I've only used it once. You get 30 days to try it, and it's free shipping each way. So I figured, what did I have to lose? And so that's why I tried it. They don't have double strollers, so if you need a double stroller, it wouldn't work. At least they don't have it yet. They are pretty new, so they may be coming out with something to turn that single stroller into a double stroller, or maybe they'll come out with a separate double stroller. I think about that too. If I were to have another child, that the Mockingbird stroller is a single stroller. That's one of the things I liked about the Bugaboo one that I was looking at, was that the fact that it could easily convert to a double stroller. And it had the extra storage on the side and underneath, but it was fairly wide. It was a little wide if you're anywhere. I don't see a really convenient place to have such a wide stroller, but but I liked it. I like Bugaboo. I like it. But I don't have it. But if as I continue to use this Mockingbird one, if I don't like it, I'll send it back, and I will definitely be replacing that with a Bugaboo. I told my husband I would try it to save money. I told him I would try it, and so I am trying it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna stick with it, but the jury is still out. But all right, ladies. That is my update right now. I will try to continually update. It's whole hard with the baby, but I want to keep you guys posted. And you guys, are my sounding board, so you know, you help keep me grounded as I go through this process. And I appreciate everyone's support and love, and it's been very, very helpful from the IVF. How can you remember those days, the IVF days? You remember those days all the way to now. So, love you guys. I will talk to you all soon.